So we have an interesting topic coming up today. The topics were more theoretical and foundation based in the previous few classes, but this one is a very practical, a very useful method that most of the trainers follow and should follow. So we'll be talking about demonstration method today. And as the word itself says, that the role and importance of demonstration in a training program, how it makes training more effective, how it can be utilized to make your trainings more effective, right? What is the role and responsibility of the trainer or the facilitator? So those things we are going to talk about in the demonstration method. Uh, our outcomes that we are expecting, we want that all of you should be able to understand what is demonstration method of training by the end of the session, as well as its types, advantages, disadvantages. A simple discussion will be able to put forth a lot of points related to that. Understand the steps of training using demonstration. So it is not very simple in the sense that randomly you can't use the demonstration method. You need to do a lot of preparation for that. I always tell that lecturing probably is
ঠিক
the
আছে কিন্তু ওদের এটা নিয়ে একটু প্রসেসটা নিয়ে একটু কাজ করেন, কারণ হলো কি ওরা তো
others on mute, please, Saurav. Yeah. So we'll try to understand the steps of training using demonstration technique, and we'll try to internalize the guidelines for making demonstration method of training more effective. So very simple session, very simple of outcomes, very simple objectives for this particular session. Yeah, Vandana on mute, please. Right. So what is demonstration? So I've given a picture there, and I think it speaks a lot that when you go to the dentist and they say this may hurt a tiny bit. And I still recollect my experience of getting one of my teeth extracted, and it was a horrible experience. The doctor suggested removing four, and after one itself, I said, "Thank you so much. I'll be okay with whatever problem I have, but I can't go for that." Now, when a faculty speaks clearly, uses simple, direct, and dynamic demonstration, it sparks a great deal of interest, motivation, curiosity, humor, and attention in the learner. So, the very basic or the starting point of demonstration is the speech of the trainer or the facilitator. That itself is part of demonstration, because how you speak, what kind of modulation you speak, what kind of gestures you have, what is your body language, it adds a lot, right? We all remember the news that we used to have. I'm assuming that many of us are from that same age group and that same era, where we have seen the Doordarshan news. How many of you recollect the Doordarshan news? The news, the only source or only channel was Doordarshan, the Indian national television channel of government, and we used to get news only on that, right? Now, if we try to just recollect the kind of news we used to have, the anchor will sit straight, simply reading out the news, no expression, no gesture, no shouting, nothing happening. And if we look at the news, that same news today, it is full of demonstration. We may call it as dramatization, right? It includes a lot of visuals and graphics. So technology has advanced, and to a great extent, it adds to the user experience, right? In the Doordarshan news, if you are only listening, not the recall was not that great. But in today's news, if we look, when it is coupled with little bit of dramatization, with little bit of visual graphics, some kind of animation, some kind of text running in the L band or in the bottom band, right? So the news system has evolved. So learners can develop, a lack of confidence in the teacher if the demonstration. So you are the first demonstrator, you are the person, you are the picture, you are the face of that training program. So it is a time-tested method of teaching and training that is followed, and we should know and learn how to effectively utilize the same. Okay, so what I am going to do is that I'll show a video, and from this video, I want all of you to draw your inferences and your learning, and then give me the feedback that how exactly or what exactly you understood. I hope I am audible. There was just sudden power cut.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Right, right, right. So thankfully, Wi-Fi is working. Okay.
Isn't it nice when things just work?
Right. So this is an advertisement of Honda, as you all can see. Uh, Slightly long. So what I'll do is I'll play it once again. You can observe it, and then we start the discussion on it. Some of you might have seen it earlier also.
Isn't it nice when things just work?
Right. So let's start with the discussion now. So what is your understanding, what you could get from this short video? What message it communicates? Over to you now.
It's about the synchronization of technology, we can say.
Okay. Synchronization
It
of
has resulted into the final product.
right. Yeah, Mr. Advani.
Assembling.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, basically from the video, it basically demonstrates that it takes one thing to trigger the other. And the final outcome is that the car, it's basically the car moving.
Okay. Right. Mr. Ganesh.
Yeah,
It
in my
talks
opinion,
about
is
the
in my opinion,
coordination.
it is precision leading to perfection is what is the message that's coming out clearly.
Okay. Yeah.
Sir, this side, sir. Sir, it also talks about the coordination and teamwork.
Coordination and teamwork. Yeah. Andela, you were saying something. You just talked.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is just assembling of all the parts of the car, and they are working in a sync so that the final product will come out.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Akash.
Hi, good morning, sir. So in this video, we also get to know that all the little things are important when we talk about a big product.
Very good. Right. Mr. Sunil.
Sir, it is a demonstration of all the internal working and the part system of the car, which is intangibly happening inside the car when we start the engine. That's all.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Esther.
Hi, good morning, sir. I felt like everything can be automated. When I was seeing that, every static thing also can be automated. Could be something related to systems thinking like that.
Right. Tia.
Yes, sir. So here, after all the points mentioned above, mentioned by the people. In addition to those points, I would like to add that a little mistake in any one small, part can lead to like the whole thing going out of sync and control, and the car not getting, manufactured some defect or the other. A little defect anywhere causes a big defect in the ultimate product or the result.
Right. Okay. Mr. Akash, I don't recollect it. You have already spoken. Akash?
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll lower my hand. Sorry.
Right. Okay. Mr. Bhupendra?
Demonstration of the teamwork among all the members, they are working very effectively.
Okay, there's a lot of background, Bhupendraji. Sorry, so we will not hear you. But the importance of demonstration, that's what I could get from your point. Yeah. Ms. Avni?
We have to work in coordination to achieve something.
Okay, right. Then Ms. Monica?
They are giving us a demo of a car, like assembly of that parts.
Demo of a car, right. So
one more point about planning and execution.
Okay, planning and execution, right. Sharadji said that. Yeah, Mr. Surojit?
Yeah, I think like by seeing that video, what I understood that this kind of methods or way people can remind more. It will be more permanent in terms of learning perspective.
Okay, so demonstration leads to better recall, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Visual learning.
Yeah, Mr. Rajni Kumar.
So to get the final output, everything to be assembled in a very corrective manner, so that we could deliver it a final output of a car. What I can feel in that sense.
Right, synchronization, importance of synchronization. Yeah, Ms. Mayuri. Slightly louder, please, Mayuri. No, maybe the voice is not coming through. Okay, Mr.
Me
Biswajit?
now, sir. Sorry, can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah, you are on.
So it's a marketing ad, and they want people to buy the car. So how smallest of things used make such a great product, and the precision that they use. That is what
Right,
they're trying to probably demonstrate.
right, right. Okay, Mr. Biswajit? No, the voice is not coming through. You're on mute. Okay, fine. I think Avni, you have already shared. You can lower your hand. Yeah, Miss Avni and Padampriya.
Good morning, sir. They are showing us they have a well-planned work for the fully automated car.
Okay, right, right, right. Okay, thank you so much. So, interesting insights and a good discussion. So, what exactly this video clip? It's a small, hardly a 2-minute video clip. But see, if we have to discuss and take that as a base material for any discussion, any analysis, leading a group discussion or something, we can discuss for hours. There are so many aspects that we can talk about, and we can demonstrate using this clip, and then let people infer the real meaning or what exactly is coming out of that. For example, yes, so the very first thing, very evident, it is ad of Accord of Honda, which is one of the best known brand globally from Honda. Honda itself has a good reputation, and especially the time when the ad was made or when the Accord was popular, Honda had a very premium image in the market. Not many companies were there. So, but what important aspect the ad is simply communicating? Number one is it is talking about the precision, because without precision things cannot work the way the advertisement has been defined. It's available on YouTube. You go and find the most expensive ad ever, or plus Honda, you will get that advertisement, right? So now the point is that there are no celebrities, there are no beautiful models, but the ad is effective. The ad is well known all over the world. So many people watch it, so many views, right? So effective, because it is talking about perfection with which Honda makes a car, right? And that perception is part of Japanese philosophy itself, right? From where the Honda comes. So there are a lot of ingrained aspects in the advertisement itself: precision, synchronization, coordination, step by step working, one part dependent on other part. Uh, I often give this example that a small part can make or break your product or your entire marketing communication or pitch. Let's say you go and buy this car, or any premium car, 35 lakh rupees. You go home and you open the door for your better half, and suddenly you find the handle is in your hand. Now, if we look as a car, probably that would be a part which will be which will be given least importance. Why? It doesn't relate to engine. Cars are known for its engine, known for its horsepower, known for, BHP, known for torque, known for mileage. There are so many aspects. If a marketing research survey is done, I understand this, please. So, if a survey is done, marketing research, and if we ask people about the different parameters that they will look for in a car while buying a car, probably hardly anyone, even at the 100th point, will mention that it should have good handles or good door handles. No one will talk about it. But just imagine a 35 lakhs worth of car, perfect brand, big brand. You go. The point is that a car is made up of especially if we are talking about the IC engine-based cars. So a car is made up of around 15 to 20,000 different parts. I mean, if you go to an automobile store where spare parts are kept, and just try to find out the number of SKUs that they need to keep. So a car is made up of so many small parts, and 80% of these parts are actually not manufactured by the company. Then who manufactures it? Their vendor, their supplier, their partner, right? Tire is manufactured by someone else, steering system is manufactured by someone else, music system is of someone else, plastic parts are manufactured by someone else, right? So maybe the only proprietary thing with most of the company is their engine. And in some cases, I mean, if I talk about Maruti's, Suzuki's diesel engines and all, they all take from Fiat. The diesel engine technology is not their own. So not even engine is manufactured by them. Okay. If I am talking about diesel cars, 80% of diesel cars use Fiat engine, right? As a brand, Fiat could not do well in the Indian market, but the engine everyone is buying. And that engine we are only using disguised in different brand names, because we don't look at the engine, we look at the car. So hardly anyone will say that, I want a very good handle. This is a part which is manufactured by a very small manufacturer or a vendor of this company, and some fault, some lack of quality check or something wrong went just with one part, with one customer, but see the dent the company will get on its image, on its products, on its sales. It becomes talk of the town. यार Honda की कार लेके आए और हैंडल निकाला और हाथ में आ गया. I mean, just as an example, I'm putting the brand. Not to say that Honda cars are not of good quality. In fact, they are. So the point is that what kind of vendor management systems you have. I can use this simple clip demonstration to talk about logistics. I can talk about supply chain management. I can talk about vendor management. I can talk about quality initiative. I can talk about role of quality circles. I can talk about Six Sigma manufacturing. I can talk about the role of leadership in creating a culture of excellence and perfection in the organization, because generally it translates or it flows down from top to the bottom in the organization, and everyone has to be that culture oriented. Everyone has to be quality conscious. Everyone has to be focused towards delivering good things to the customer. So it has to become part of the culture, philosophy, right? So very interesting. I don't recollect if I shared this. There's a wonderful movie on all these issues, which include the people issue also, which is called as Gung Ho. It's an old classic movie. You don't find it in HD or 4K resolution, but I still use that as a tool or as a method to teach cross-cultural communication, to teach capitalism and socialism, to talk about Japanese management system and American management system. So it's an interesting movie wherein there is a factory of a Japanese manufacturer in US, and the entire city is the movie is called as Gung Ho, Gungho, Gung Ho. Okay, and so the movie is based where this entire city or entire city's economy is based on this car plant only, car manufacturing plant, which is of a Japanese company. And then due to some issues, somehow Japanese decide to move out of the market and close down the factory. Now the entire city is in perils and the economy is not working. People are unemployed. There is no other source of employment. So then the mayor of the city nominates a gentleman, the lead hero, to go to Japan and convince them to restart the factory. And then the Japanese management comes back, but they give very strict conditions. They say that, we don't believe in American work culture, philosophy. They are not quality conscious. They don't come on time. They are not disciplined. All those arguments are given by the Japanese management, and somehow this gentleman is able to convince them to come back to US, start this factory again, and then the story starts. And fine, we don't have time to talk about the entire story, but very interesting turn of events where as we say that old habits die hard. So Americans or all the workers, they because they were jobless for many years, now they have lost that habit of working, being on time, being perfectionist. And Japanese philosophy is all about discipline, perfection. This famous story says that a company implemented Six Sigma. Six Sigma is basically a philosophy of quality, which talks about, which says that not more than 6 defects per million products produced. Okay, so not 6 per million. 10 lakh product बना रहे हैं और 6 से ज़्यादा defect नहीं आना चाहिए. That's what the basic philosophy is. Now this, when it happened at a Japanese company, they had to actually produce 6. So when they shipped the product, so they shipped 10 lakh shoes, and then they specially manufactured 6 defective shoes, because it was mentioned that it should not have more than 6 defective shoes. So they had to manufacture specifically a defective one, because for them it was 100% perfection or 100% accuracy. So that's the philosophy that we are talking about. So the point is that you can go through this movie, and it's a wonderful movie. I use it for many of my classes. A lot of learning can happen with these movies, with these anecdotes, with these stories. I'll type it in chat. The name of the movie is coming. So a lot of movies are there which have a lesson, which have a message, and can be used in combination with your training program. So the point that I wanted to make with this particular video clip was that demonstration or a picture or a video speaks more than 1,000 words. So if a picture speaks more than 1,000 words, probably a video speaks more than 10,000 words. For example, with this 1.5 or 2 minute video clip, we could discuss several issues for almost 20-25 minutes, and I don't know how many words we would have spoken jointly. So that's the philosophy of the demonstration method. There are various types of demonstration. Pure demonstration. This is purely a visual method of demonstration, wherein the trainees or participants see the model for display and understand the teaching point. One example of this can be display of solar system in a special galaxy laboratory to show the entire moving galaxy. Now, many of you are in age group where you have your kids at home and they are going to schools these days, and okay. Hope the slide is visible. Slide is visible now. Right. So many of you must be in the age group where you have your kids going to school, and now you would have realized or understood the importance of the demonstration method, because now most of the schools have adopted live model based or project based learning or project based teaching. And you will agree to that because I still remember when my kids were in school. So every day evening you are rushing to the stationery shop. Why? Because you need some XYZ material for the project of your kid. And I often used to get irritated and tell them, ask your teachers to bring all this. From where do I find this particular kind of cloth or particular kind of thread or particular kind of a pen, and all those things used to happen. But the point is that demonstration has become a very, very, very important method because it adds to recall, it gives the opportunity and flexibility to the participants to practice what they see. Demonstration will become effective only when people are able to do themselves also. But in any case, even if they are not able to do, demonstration beyond, right? One example is the special galaxy. I don't know how many of you have, probably most of us have, but rather than buying an atlas to the students or to the kids, I generally prefer buying a big globe because that becomes a better demonstration. In an atlas you can only see the map, but when you see a three-dimensional model that is a globe, your understanding of all the axis and equator and the companies and below and down and right and north pole and south pole and everything, then only you get the real picture. So I hope all of you agree to the point that the demonstration is very, very important method. Okay. Then demonstration with commentary. So in this type, there is a wonderful blend of visual and instructional mode of teaching or training. It helps in a better understanding of the difficulties of the participant. This also enables to be more interactive as participants may also share their queries with the instructor or demonstrator. So what I did just now, I have not shown you only a picture, I have shown you a clip and I asked your perspective, your inferences, what you deduce out of that particular video clip, and we had a wonderful discussion that how we can use a simple 2-minute video clip to cover maybe 20-30 topics we would have discussed. Almost 15 different themes all of you mentioned when you shared your understanding. You talked about synchronization, you talked about logistics, you talked about one step after other or one part dependent on other, or importance of coordination and things like that. So it becomes more. Participative demonstration is allow participants to attempt to replicate either some or all of the demonstration. So the trainer may use the smart participants to perform the demonstration with the helping hand of the participants. This is a teacher-student directed technique and is thus quite interactive and interesting as well as motivating. For example, I had an opportunity to head a hospitality school for some time. Although I am from management, but there was a requirement, and since in management I've been in services marketing for a long time, the then boss felt that you can lead this team of hospitality school. And what I found that the major technique that they use is this kind of participative demonstration. So what happens? There is a demonstrator that or the teacher acts as a demonstrator and demonstrates, how to cut vegetables, what kind of oils to use, how you will put it in the pan, how you will cook it, how you will serve it, what kind of display will be there while serving, those kind of aspects. And then they pick up some students to do it there itself, because unless until they do it themselves, they will not learn, right? The way we always say that you can't learn swimming without getting into the water, you can't learn driving without holding the steering wheel, right? Simulator may also work for some time, but actually you need to get into the car and you want to learn how to drive a car. No one without sitting in the car can claim that, no, I have seen a lot of YouTube videos and I learned how to drive a car. Okay, so those kind of aspects are there. Then there are like resource speaker directed techniques. So on some occasion, an outside expert or a resource person may be invited to display the demonstration. For example, once we organized a workshop, which is creating beautiful artwork and flowers and decorated items from food products. Let's say from a watermelon, right, or from a papaya, or using different vegetables and all. And there was an expert who conducted that workshop. So illustrative demonstration method can be illustrative display. It could be displaying the object, or it could be part of demonstration where there is a role play or working process simulation. So there are different variations. This may catch the interest of trainees as it breaks the boredom and then try to get new learning. from an expert who might have got special training on the special stuff. Okay, so these are the variations. Let's try to break the monotony again, and I'll again show you a video clip. Right. So is the clip visible? Please let me know if it is not audible.
So it's visible but not audible.
It's not playing. Yeah, now.
हाय प्रभा, तुम यहाँ कैसे? आओ बैठो, have some lunch.
नो थैंक यू, मुझे वहाँ जाना है.
तो हम भी वहाँ चलते हैं. इसमें क्या? शाम, see you. This is नागेश.
ये है अरुण जैक्सन तुलाराम कंपनी में, और ये है नागेश हमारे लॉ डिपार्टमेंट में.
क्या खाएंगे आप? Excuse me, मैं फिक्स करता हूँ. डिसूजा. Yes sir. डिसूजा, अपनी जरा वो स्पेशल डिश बनवाओ. पीटर है ना अंदर? Yes sir. उसको कहना नागेश साहब का ऑर्डर है, अच्छी तरह बनाए. क्या कहेगा? अच्छी तरह बनाए. अबे कहना नागेश साहब का ऑर्डर है, वो समझ जाएगा. ओके? क्या बनवाना है? चिकन आलापूज 3 प्लेट. ओके सर. आप दही बड़ा खाते हैं? प्रभा तो खूब खाती है. 3 प्लेट दही बड़ा. ओके सर. कीमा पराठा, चावल, बॉयल. ओके. और कुछ नहीं बस, दैट्स ऑल. जल्दी बनाना, नहीं तो नो टिप. ओके. हरी अप. बाय द वे, आप कुछ बीमार हैं क्या? जी नहीं. गुड. अच्छा प्रभा, आज का सर्कुलर पढ़ा? अगली 15 से मैचेस शुरू होने वाले हैं. अच्छा? इस बार पूरी छुट्टियों में मैं सुबह शाम टेबल टेनिस की प्रैक्टिस करता रहा. ये वो. अच्छा, मिक्स डबल्स में मैंने तुम्हारा नाम दे दिया. हाँ, कल से प्रैक्टिस शुरू. प्रभा एंड नागेश, इंटर ऑफिस चैंपियन.
लेकिन अब तो मेरी प्रैक्टिस भी नहीं हुई.
अरे डोंट बॉदर, मैं जो तुम्हारे साथ हूँ.
आप टेबल टेनिस खेलते हैं?
जी, कॉलेज के दिनों में थोड़ा बहुत खेलता था. बस काफी है. कॉलेज में मैं क्रिकेट खेलता था. ओपनिंग बैट्समैन एंड पेस बॉलर. सुनील को मैंने स्टैंड सिखाया. सुनील गावस्कर, ही वाज माय कॉलीग. क्या बताएं, ऑफिस में आके सब गड़बड़ हो गया. प्रभा, जरा बताओ ना इनको. मैं यू नो.
आप हमारे ऑफिस में 2 साल से टेबल टेनिस और शतरंज के चैंपियन हैं.
ओह आई सी. यू नो. अबे पराठा नहीं लाया? सॉरी सर, अभी लाया. हरी अप यार, व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन? स्टूपिड. अरे वो तुमने सुना? उस दिन वो टकले ने मुझे रूम में बुलाकर क्या कहा?
हमारे जीएम को हम टकला कहते हैं. वैसे आदमी बहुत अच्छा है.
अच्छा है माय फूड. फीमेल स्टाफ के लिए अच्छा होगा. आप खाइए ना. आपका नाम क्या? मैं भूल गया. अरुण. हाँ, अरुण.
Right. So maybe just to check how many of you are with me, you can type the name of movie in the chat.
छोटी सी बात.
Right. I wanted you to write in the chat so that everyone can at least try. But anyways, right. Okay. So fine. What you could understand from this clip and how you can utilize it as a trainer. Right? Demonstration method.
Give your clear name.
Raise your hand and then speak so that I can ask. Yeah. So, Surojit, let's start with Surojit.
Yeah, so in this process, what I understood that we have to make sure that in our training we should have that ownership or control, because here the control went to someone else.
Right. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Advani.
Yes, I have watched this movie, complete movie. It's a really very interesting movie, and you have a good choice of movies. I must say that.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
basically, what happens in this movie is Asrani is trying to impose on.
We'll not go to movie. We'll stick to this clip as of now.
Yeah. No, basically, talking about the screen play that was happening is Asrani is trying to impress impress, and he's imposing on Amol Palekar.
Right. So how you can use it as a trainer?
So as a trainer, right. So as a trainer, basically, it's giving the signal to the other person that he needs to improve and keep up with the trend.
You can use it as for topic of communication skill.
Yeah, communication skill definitely, and as well as to keep up with the trends.
Right. Change management.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Kulkarni, Jagannath ji.
Yes, sir. I recall the very interesting anecdote told by our IIT professor. He said, if the fish want to take his food, he has to open the mouth. And at the same time, by opening the mouth, there is also danger to get caught. Thank you very much.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Bhupendra ji, you were trying to speak.
This whole film, there are some things from the point of view of a whole Palekar, not only the communication, he also.
Right. So today, I understand it seems you are traveling, so the voice is not clear. Sorry for that. Right. Anyone else? Akash ji?
Hi, sir. So in this clip, we get to know that if you're not having a good communication skill, then there is a possibility that your session can be hijacked, and same vice versa. If you are having a good communication skill, you can easily hijack someone else's session.
Again, importance of communication. Yeah, Vinod ji.
Yes, from this movie clip, we can understand that take in charge of yourself, else any other will take in charge of yours.
Okay, yeah. Shrikant ji has written lack of self-confidence. Yes, very much. You can talk about it. Or the importance of self-confidence, you can talk about using this in your training sessions. Yeah, Mr. Sebastian.
So in my experience in a training program, you have different behaviors, different kind of participants, and you will have such participants in your training program. So don't be intimidated by them. Rather use their energy and being embarrassed and keeping quiet, and rather use their energy and to bring in more fun in the class and not to be intimidated by them at all.
Yeah, because a similar kind of behavior sometimes is displayed during group discussion on, and we have done the topic of group discussion in previous class, if all of you recollect, right?
Indeed,
so
yeah.
that kind of a situation is very much possible. You can use this clip very well, because although not a very big group here, but there are 3 people. So fine, 3 we can consider as a small group, and what can go wrong, how someone may hijack, someone may only speak in a group, or how you can contribute, or what you can do. I mean, let participants see that and visualize and think that what you would have done, and let's do a role. Someone becomes Asrani and someone other becomes Amol Palekar, and then they try to do a role play, how you will deal with that situation. Now that's where actual training happening. You have demonstrated something, and you ask people also to demonstrate their learning, right? Yeah. Anyone else? Akash, you have spoken, I believe. You can lower your hand. Yeah. Anyone else would like to comment? Done. Okay. So there are some comments in the chat also. Effective communication leads, attracts attention of others, right? Okay. Improvisation and control, name of movie we already. Okay, good, fine. Let's move ahead. So now you understand, and now you realize the power of demonstration method. Is this method works very well? The demonstration could be in a different format. So we'll now try to discuss some of the aspects by which you can demonstration more effective. Okay, so I'll take a clip afterwards. Steps of training using demonstration technique. So the very first thing that you need to do is a proper lesson planning or a proper plan of the session. It requires meticulous step-by-step planning, including the flow of verbal communication, planning and demonstration to be done using the tool. So at which stage of training you will do the demonstration, when you will, how you will brief people, how you will debrief people, how you or when you will ask them to be participative, you will only ask questions or you will ask them to perform. Lot of planning is required. Keeping ready and collecting the material related to the demonstration, I use a simple method, video clip, but there are so many other possibilities. There can be models, there can be some games where there are some blocks and all those things are used and they are supposed to prepare something. So that also is possible in a physical training mode. For me, the limitation was of online training, and that's why I could use only a video clip. But there are several ways by which you can do demonstration. Lot of
The screen has just blanked out, or is it just me?
I think it's frozen.
It's got stuck. Maybe network issue.
Could you all spoke?
I think so. There is a network problem with Dr. Jain sir.
Right. Okay, am I audible now?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So there is a lot of power outage today, and again the Wi-Fi restart. So I'm losing out the communication. So if someone can tell me what was the last point when I was audible, because I was speaking for last 5 minutes.
Step-by-step planning.
The
Right.
preparation and planning.
You are asking.
Okay. Thank you. Right. So slide is visible.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Right.
No, sir.
Visible now?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes.
We are talking about steps that as a trainer, as a facilitator, how you will use this method and what will be an appropriate way of using it. So the very first thing was proper lesson planning, which is the step-by-step planning, including the flow of communication, how you will start, how you will brief the participants, when you will introduce the demonstration, how you will debrief, when you will ask questions to people or you will initiate discussion, and when you will ask people to demonstrate it now with or demonstrate their learning from the activity or the second thing, keeping ready and collecting the material. What I was sharing here is that in online setup I had the limitation, so I used a video clip, but there are possibilities to use models, to use blocks, to use graphs and charts. There are a lot of possibilities where people work on a drawing and 5 people have to create a drawing, and different types of tools and techniques can be used in the demonstration method, where you show something and you ask people to show something or demonstrate. Pre-rehearsal of demonstration beforehand so that there is no chance of error during the practical live session. Okay, I hope all of you recollect how we created crossword using a simple 2 Excel formulas. Right now, for that demonstration, I need to practice it 3-4 times, because when I am demonstrating and if I am not able to put in the right formula and if I am not able to generate a crossword, my demonstration will fail. Okay, so there is a lot of rehearsal required. You can't go unprepared when using this. Okay. Then introducing the demonstration session, live example to start the demonstration so as to create interest of the learner group, to ensure that the learners and are motivated to listen and see and grasp. So you have to draw their attention, because what happens, not everyone is 100% attentive throughout the session or throughout the day. So you need to have some icebreaker, you need to have some attention grabbing statement, or the very first thing that you need to do is gain the attention. And once you have gained the attention, then people will listen to you, see your demonstration, and then only they themselves can perform. Ensure that the environment is congenial and that there are no disturbances like high noise level or distraction. Any demonstration will need concentration. If people are not concentrating, they will ask you to demonstrate 5 times, right? So as a trainer, what I will do is, if I am using a demonstration, the first thing that I need to do is that all the participants are with me, right? Physically and mentally at the same place. Initiate the ice breaking session initially. That's what I said, to ensure participants' attention is intact. Presenting the subject matter. So the presentation of the real teaching point and content is very important to be imparted so that participants reflect the thinking. I use the movie clip. Simply, I could have talked about the movie, but I wanted to relate not to the movie, but I wanted to relate the situation to my teaching objective. How demonstration works, what all a demonstration can actually help you to communicate or convey to the participants. Reflective thinking should be kept in mind to ensure easy understanding. The learner should be able to relate with their past knowledge as well, which can be synced with the new knowledge, right? So all of you have seen this movie, but probably never thought that it can be utilized in this manner, or it could be a training tool. Many of you might have seen that Gung Ho movie. Many of you might have seen the this famous movie of the Wizard of Wall Street, or there are so many movies that you can actually use. Then comes the actual demonstration. So the trainer should ensure that the demonstration is presented in a neat and clean manner. The performance should be meticulous and error-free. The stage is most important. Participants need to be inquisitive to see and learn. If they are not looking at you, if they are not learning, it doesn't help, right? Then, the trainer, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Right. Because again, there was a power cut here. Okay. So the trainers or facilitators may surely design appropriate demonstration techniques in the rural areas as well, as it is not necessarily always a costly technique. And it has worked. It has worked. Demonstration as a method has worked very well, especially in the rural setups where people create hearts and people go to the melas. I still remember that initially when the toothpaste was introduced in India, there was a lot of demonstrations required because people were not used to using a toothpaste, okay, or a toothbrush. So Colgate Palmolive, they have to do lot of demonstrations, going households, going to the village hearts, going to the melas, and they'll put up a stall and they'll show people that how actually it is to be done. And the technique, still holds popularity. We all have seen that a lot of doctors had to demonstrate how to wash your hands during the pandemic, right? Because that also is important. The method of washing the hands makes a lot of difference. Why to use soap during the pandemic, we all have seen that, and we had to actually either learn or demonstrate others that what is the right way of washing your hand, because that was the mask and the hand wash or the sanitizers were the only refuge from the pandemic to stay away from the infection. Then the trainer need to use appropriate teaching aids, like whiteboard, graph, model for briefing and debriefing. You need things which are apart from the models or apart from the displays. And then you should have an assessment and evaluation that whether the demonstration worked or not. The best way is that people should be able to perform that experiment. People should be able to demonstrate, right? And that leads to a a smooth flow of learning or transition of learning from the trainer to the learner. Advantages, I believe, with the kind of discussion that we had, everyone now understands the advantages. It helps to get deeper understanding of the subject, and the knowledge accrued becomes more long lasting on account of practical demonstration method. In all my sessions, I try to use something or other that you are able to recollect or remember. You may not remember my full session that was taken, but you will definitely remember how we created crossword puzzle, or you will remember how we used the Honda's ad, or how we used the Choti Si Baat movie clip. So it makes a difference. It makes a difference. It leads to deeper understanding and long lasting impression and memory. The participants remain active, learner, and feel involved. The learning remains permanent, expected to cause maximum learning to the learner group as compared to other methods. It helps in arousing a spirit of curiosity, innovativeness, anxiety to learn more, spirit of discovery. So I'm sorry, I think I again lost the connection.
Yeah, again lost.
Yeah. So what was the last point I made? Please help me recollect.
Spirit of discovery, spirit of discovery.
Right. Okay. So the point that I was trying to make here is that India is a country where for lot of things you have to use demonstration, because predominantly we are a rural or agriculture based economy, almost 65% dependent on that. And in those setups, for effective teaching, training and all that, you have to use demonstration as a method. Some disadvantages: direct interaction with teacher trainer at times become difficult because trainer is predominantly involved in displaying the demonstration. So the trainer's focus shifts on the demonstration, and discussion sometimes is left out, right? It may turn out to be a costly method. Language labs, social study labs, food engineering labs, a lot of equipment you have to carry, chemicals you have to carry. So in certain situations, it might be expensive. And as I said since the beginning, demonstration has to follow with discussion and actual application or use of that method by the participant. So doing is important, otherwise the method will be incomplete. And there is also lack of effective trainers. Not all trainers are trained in this technique, and you learn by doing it several times. And it is limited to certain teaching training points. Not everything is possible to be taught using a demonstration technique. Sometimes may be hazardous if proper care is not taken. Right? For example, in our kitchen experiments or chemistry lab experiments, a lot of care has to be taken. So how to make demonstration effective? Number one, keep it simple. Break it in different parts. Step by step implement it. It will work. Have a plan B ready. Many a times it will happen that the demonstration will fail. It will not work. And you need to have a plan B ready because that topic has to be covered and the session has to be completed. Plan meticulously. I've already talked about these stages. And participation interaction. It is very important to interact with the participants so that you know that they are learning what you are teaching. We are teaching, we are training, but are they learning? That question has to be asked again and again. in almost every training method, because that will ensure better learning of the teaching points. You should keep on taking feedback. For example, I was speaking and suddenly I realized that my connection was lost, my internet connection, and I was speaking for last 5 minutes. But since the connection is lost, you also cannot tell me, because even if you are speaking, I will not listen to it. Right? So those kind of things, feedback, regular feedback, continuous feedback during the session is very important. And to assess the learning, it is important for the demonstrator. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
It's very important to assess the learning. So it is important for demonstrator to assess the learning and record some data related to it. Some trend analysis or evaluation scheme pre and post demonstration session can help to assess the learning in a more quantitative manner. Qualitatively, you get to know from the feedback, but there has to be a mechanism to quantitatively also evaluate and understand, right? So some other ways, demonstrator or team need to be well selected, knowledgeable, material, equipment, tools should be available and tested. Demonstrator must himself try and execute several times before the session, and the participant should be encouraged to take some notes or record some data so as not to forget the teaching points easily to ensure a better learning. Right. So I'll go again to a demonstration method and we'll use again some clips.
And it looked as if the pitch was helping out. It was either coming off fast or it was turning, because certainly Durrani was not comfortable. India on 30.
Good morning, Ramesh.
84 wins in the test match. All moves into Durrani.
साहब
Over goes his arm.
कभी बुलाया ऑफिस में आते ही साहब फिर एक चौका
Lovely shot. Goes just past Barry Wood, and that's the first score this morning. A beautiful shot. Old overpitched it, and Durrani
यार वो
to the cover point boundary for 4 runs. So with that 4, Durrani's total moves up to 21.
यस गुड मॉर्निंग सर तुम फिर से लेट आया आई एम सॉरी सर ठीक है टाइम से आया कर यस सर बट किधर है सर कल से बट नहीं आ रहा है सर आई नो बट वो जरूर क्रिकेट मैच देखता होगा ब्लू बट कंपनी के स्टेटमेंट ऑफ अकाउंट और फाइल मेरे पास भेज दो यस सर
Lighted bowling, someone comes out to that using his feet, drives it all along the ground. The ball goes straight to Soka, they fix it up and threatens their batsman,
रामन
attempting to throw it back.
वो ब्लू बर्ड कंपनी का स्टेटमेंट बन गया
काय को डिस्टर्ब करता है यार बाद में देख लेंगे करवा दिया ना आउट जब से ग्रेड 2 में प्रमोट हुआ है अपने आप को पता नहीं क्या समझता है
The umpire hesitated a little bit and then put his arm up. So India have now lost 3 wickets for 44. And to commence on that wicket, it's over to Lala. Well, it was a well-grounded, good-length ball of Santa, and the batsman played.
Fine. So what do you think? Comments? What are the problems?
Sir, actually, this typically happens in case of promotions among the peers. This usually happens, and when the person is not transferred from that place and he is required to work with the same peers, ex-peers, then these things are bound to happen.
Right. But what exactly is the problem here?
Sir, he is not able to transform himself.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Acceptance is
So when
also
is
the
that?
problem.
Yeah.
He also has a recessive and an introvert kind of a nature.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Loyalty towards company at stake. Shrikant has written. Shaunak has written lack of authoritativeness. Visudeep has given loose control. Vinita has talked about lack of confidence. Shrikant again talks about top and bottom hierarchy, discord. Body language is very meek and timid, right?
No command in his words.
Okay. He is senior, but there is no authority, not authoritative, right?
Gesture
As
is
well as
also not up to the mark.
confident level is also average.
Okay. It seems that he is very novice in the job.
And he is very low with his gesture as well, and overall body language.
Okay, poor body language. Good. Right. Okay, so let's move to the next clip now, and let's try to analyze and what difference does it make when someone is well trained, well groomed, good in communication, and able to be persuasive and authoritative, right?
काय साहेब छुट्टी संपली
खड़े हो और कहो गुड मॉर्निंग कहो गुड मॉर्निंग सर
गुड मॉर्निंग सर
गुड मॉर्निंग
काय झालं
रामन
हाय
रामन
क्या बात है, क्यों चिल्ला रहा है?
ब्लूबर्ड के स्टेटमेंट्स देना
स्टेटमेंट अभी तैयार नहीं है। हाँ तो
रामन ये सब क्या कर दिया सब गलत
मैं भी आया।
टोटल देखो
लेकिन मैंने तो सब चेक किया था।
चेक कर लिया था तो ये कैसे हो गया
मैं ठीक कर लाता हूँ।
डू इट हियर यहीं करो अच्छा ये सब यहीं छोड़ दो मैं कर दूंगा ब्लू बर्ड का रजिस्टर लेके आओ जैसे भी हो आई वॉन्ट टू चेक इट
सॉरी आप देखेंगे नहीं?
स्टेटमेंट्स लेके आओ पहले
स्टेटमेंट्स अभी कुछ बाकी हैं, 2-4 दिन में।
सारे स्टेटमेंट्स कल सुबह तैयार चाहिए जरूरत हो तो ओवरटाइम कर लो एंड नो सिली मिस्टेक्स
मैं कर दूंगा।
मैं कर दूंगा सर
मैं कर दूंगा सर।
साहब आपसे कोई मिलने आया
ये लो पैसे पान खरीद लो अपने लिए।
अच्छा सर।
और खबरदार फिर से ऑफिस में बदतमीजी की तो।
नहीं।
जाओ वो साहब को भेज दो।
अच्छा सर। लक्ष्मी, ये सब टाइप आज ही हो जाना चाहिए, समझी? नारायण, ये स्टेटमेंट अभी तक तैयार क्यों नहीं हुई है? हाँ, जब तक ये काम पूरा नहीं हो जाता तुम आज यही काम करोगे ऑफिस में, समझे? जाओ। और नोटियाल, सर, तुम्हारी छुट्टी की दरखास्त में तब तक आगे नहीं बढ़ाऊंगा जब तक ब्लू बर्ड कंपनी का काम पूरा नहीं हो जाता। ओके, गो। और तुमको चप्पा, तुम खड़े खड़े मेरा मुंह क्या देख रहे हो? जाओ एक कप चाय लेके आओ।
वेरी गुड, थैंक यू सर। गैरेज में किसी को भेजा? हाँ, मेरा रूम पार्टनर मोहन जाएगा कल। वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड।
Right. So now we had a before and after kind of a situation, right? So what changed, how it changed, and will it work, will it not work, a right approach or a wrong approach, we can have the discussion. Let's start with Sunil.
Yes, sir. So in earlier clip, we have seen the hero, which is not in authoritative mode. His body language was not confident. His hairstyles, dressings was not aggressive or dominating. In the next scene, we have seen our hero with a good body language, good confidence by wearing a good clothes, and with the help of a good mentor. So importance of a mentor is also necessary. So somebody who was guiding and him and dictating him is also necessary. And with that confidence, he has taken the authority and he has doing the work with respect to his role. That's all.
Right, well said. Right, so this entire movie, in fact, demonstrates, if you have seen or if you have not seen, you must see this very interesting movie. That role of trainer in one's life. I mean, you call it mentor, facilitator, coach. These are terminologies, but end of the day, they are trainers. They are training someone to do something, right? So it establishes that importance. Yeah, Mr. Advani.
So in this movie, actually, there's a lot of role play happening. There's a lot of role play happening. So basically, Ashok Kumar is training Amol Palekar by way of role play, and he's acting as a mentor, as correctly mentioned earlier. And that actually gives the opportunity to the trainer and the trainee to make sure that they are enacting the performance with precision, So there's a lot of precision. And so based on that, the outcome is that it is translating into the bottom management as well. So everything is going in a sequence, So since the manager...
Of training to develop a good organizational culture.
Correct. Yeah, correct. That's what I was coming to. The culture is basically is imparting a culture into the organization. So that actually is a very effective way. And definitely it will work, because what will happen is the entire culture of the organization will change slowly and steadily.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Rajni.
Sir, in this situation, I feel the behavior and attitude of a person change with the guidance of his mentor, where the culture itself is getting changed. When we watched in the first instance, the culture is in haywire state. When in the next instant, when his behavior and attitude has been changed, the everything is falling back from bottom level to the next section wise, or you call it as employee level, it is getting changed, sir.
Right. Well said.
Thank you.
Akash? Mr. Akash?
Sir, so in this case, we see that in the earlier stage also, the person was willing to work, but the team was not willing to work due to his lack in leadership and his lack in authorities. But when we found that he was trained well in the second scene, then after that, he is still working. Now he knows how to lead the team. Now his team is also working. So the moral of the story is that even with the will, you cannot work if you are not trained well, if you are not motivated well by your trainers. And this is the importance of trainer and mentor in a particular life.
Right. Well said. So a must-watch movie for every trainer, I'll say. Okay, so there are some
Yeah,
comments.
sure.
Let's take up those comments now. So well trained on shortcomings, dressing improved. This was observed by Vinita. So your attire also matters a lot. Often, I mean, I make sure, although it is a Sunday, I just had my breakfast, but I'll still try when I'm in a training session. I'm used to wearing a coat and a tie. The climate in Rajasthan is not conducive to a coat now, but it gives me that confidence, while taking my session as a trainer. So I got used to it. That's what I'm saying. So here also dressing improves and it brings that confidence, it brings that body language. Okay. Uh, then Shaunak agreed to that, well trained on shortcomings. Vipul said that now he is confident. In fact, Shaunak also observed the dressing helped in improving the confidence. Chosen and script words for communication. So the communication has improved. Responsibility comes with authority. So he's more authoritative now in the second scene. Shrikant said that. Biswajit talked about much confidence, strong personality developed, commanding attitude, ownership, well cultured, good gesture, and posture. In fact, with this video clip, sometimes you draw learning. So when I joined a new institution, and there was a very young faculty team, and most of these young faculty members, they came and complained to me that none of the students actually wish them. They don't give that respect when they are crossing by. I mean, they completely disregard. And my advice to them was that no problem. For 3 days, you start wishing them, right? You can always, when you are passing by, you can say good morning, students, and they will respond, good morning, sir, right? And maybe in 3 to 5 days time, they all will realize that it is our responsibility to wish our teachers or respect our teachers and all. So that's how sometimes some simple advice, some guidance, some coaching, some mentoring, it works. And that method that I suggested, it worked. And within a week, there was a culture in the organization where many of these faculty members or youngsters, they started receiving a lot of respect from the students, right? So altogether, best control over the situation. This we said that. Sunil also agreed to the confidence point and the responsibility with authoritative, right? Adding to this, making team aware of mistakes. Yes. So you need to give feedback as a leader, as a senior in the organization. Your feedback is important, right? Although we talk about persuasive communication and positive feedback or positive listening these days. So don't point out on a person, but point out the mistake. Okay. Mr. Deep agreed to that. Vinod, what is the movie name? Choti Si Baat. Okay, the movie name is Choti Si Baat. Tia and Vinod will agree. Manipulation technique also sometimes helps to bring awareness. So right. So it was not, the intention was not actually to manipulate, because he said that I will do it, because he didn't ask the person to struggle with the accounts and the numbers by distorting the figures. He said no, chhod do, I'll do it. So he was very clear that the idea was there to make people or make the subordinates more attentive and more committed to the work, right? Right, Noor Admi replying to, yeah, Choti Si Baat 75. Okay. Achha, so this what that is Noor Admi is, Jagannath ji, if you would like to comment on that. Is it again?
सर, ये पुरानी कहावत है, या पुरानी कहावत है, हिंदी में कहते हैं कि एक नूर आदमी 10 नूर कपड़ा. मतलब कि अभी आज के मैनेजमेंट की भाषा में we call it power dressing. If you want to show power, you should be dressed powerfully. wearing the tie and all that formal things. If you meet the people, of course, it depends on person to person. If we observe the Steve Jobs, he was as powerful as though he was wearing just a t-shirt and jeans pant. So, but power dressing plays a role, especially in corporates, especially when we are in L&D field and so on. Thank you, sir.
Right, right, right. And it is not about Western clothing, let me tell you. So I had a great friend, and he has been part of institutions which believed in Gandhian philosophy, and they used to wear khadi only. But every time he'll wear that kurta and pajama of khadi, it will be so neat. It will have that starch done, and it will be so gracious. So it is not about Western clothing, but how you wear the existing cloth also matters, right? So thank you so much. I think
So that carrying is also very important. Carrying whatever you are wearing is also very important, isn't it?
Great.
So thank you.
Very, very. So it is not only about Western, I mean, a tie or a suit. What I meant here is that, dressed appropriately for the occasion. Yeah, Sebastian?
Yes, sir. If we have a minute, I actually feel obligated to share the inside story of Nokia. I heard the last week recording yesterday. So, I wanted to share that this brand in 2008 and 2009, since you very well mentioned, Symbian was going away.
Right.
And, but then Nokia was already ahead of its game. And they had, based on the Linux platform, they already had Mimo and Migo operating systems.
Okay.
But to our bad luck, that was a time when the Trojan warhorse got inside Nokia, Mr. Stephen Siloff. And by 2010 and 2011, now he was an ex-Microsoft. So his primary goal, later everyone realized, was to somehow get Nokia to Microsoft, because Microsoft have been trying a lot in the last so many years to get into mobile field. And that's where in 2011 they collaborated, and then Microsoft finally took over Nokia with Windows operating system. But well, right, that didn't work out because we could not match the Android apps or the ecosystem.
Right.
2015, it all ended, but Nokia somewhere felt, that it's its responsibility to bring in a different story to the mobile telecommunications. And that's where they came back in 2016 with a different mindset, with a different mission and vision. And the mission was to have sustainability as its core and become a leader in sustainability and should be an example for the world in the mobile equipments. And since then, they came back with Android, but as I said, they've been practicing sustainability, teaching other brands, to have sustainable procurements. Yeah, and another 30 seconds. So they're already in leadership, or they're already leaders in sustainability. They have received EcoVadis Platinum Awards. Their mission is to not achieve profitability anymore. They're already the top love brand in Europe, but India it's difficult because the Chinese markets are already here. So we will never see Nokia as one of the greatest shareholders in the future. That's not their mission anymore. But you will always see that brand as one of the most loved brand, and they will continue to pursue their sustainability mission. And you'll see in Mobile World Congress last year or this year, in fact, even Samsung has stepped in. A brand like Samsung, they have started this journey of sustainability.
Right.
So even in the future, as I said, we will never see Nokia as a brand which has the highest or the largest market share.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's the inside story I wanted to give you.
Right. Well, point well taken, and I'm glad that all of you are following the session. Even if you miss out, you make sure that you are referring the sessions in the recorded one. So good points. Yes. So fine. Will not get into that discussion and or argument. Point is well taken. No doubt about it that it was a good brand. It was a big brand, and it is a big and good brand. The only thing is that transition at right time is important. So that transition could not happen the way it should have happened. And sometimes your legacy, if you are such a strong brand, you are labeled like that. So it is expected that you will do it. I mean, same problem was faced by Lifebuoy. So Lifebuoy, such a strong brand, but always associated with health platform. and over a period of time, that pink soap I'm talking about, those of you remember that Tandurusti ki Raksha Karta Lifebuoy.
Yeah.
But over a period of time, it became a primarily rural soap. And it was very, very difficult to come out of that image. They tried launching beauty soaps and they failed miserably. But when
Indeed, yeah.
they do a hand wash, it worked. Why? Because the basic philosophy remained same, which is health. So hand wash was also reflecting health. Lifebuoy was something which stood for health. So anyways,
And two more things that you'll be surprised to know that even today, Nokia happens to be the largest stakeholder with, or the largest patent holder in the world.
Okay.
And what we see today is nothing but the consequences of dirty politics played in 2010-11.
Right. Understood. Right. So we'll stop here this discussion, and just one or two questions were there. So one is, how do you see the Amul giving money to guard to buy a pan? He gives because he threw that pan, and he said, "फिर से office में बदतमीजी मत करना, मतलब office में पान मत खाना." So that was the message. That I will, as a leader or as a boss, will never do a financial harm to a smaller person because I threw his pan, right? So that was the aspect there. And regarding the assignment through paper and pen, upload JPG or MS Word and then upload it. Honestly speaking, I don't know in which format they accept, because that we'll have to check with the team there at ISTD only. Right. So thank you so much. It was a wonderful discussion.
Thank you, sir. Interesting session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much.
Thank you, sir. It was
Thanks, everyone.
interesting.
Thank you, sir.